Good afternoon. It's now 1 o'clock in the afternoon of Monday the 13th of August. I'm Andy and this is my allotment. It's been just over a week since I did a video. I'm still carless, having had to give it up after my heart attack, although I'm hopeful to get it back this week as I filled the wrong form in as advised by the hospital, and unfortunately I didn't need to get my licence up and I'm not going to wait for it to be returned to me, but still it's one of those things. I'm still able to get down here every now and then and do some work on the allotment, so not all bad. Anyway, quick spin round to show you what's been happening over the last couple of weeks last 10 days or so since I did the last allotment video. Right, we'll start off at this corner here. Actually no, we won't. We'll start over here, because on this side, as you can see here, I have three sorry looking currant bushes. These are the ones that were in my greenhouse for far too long, so they're still suffering from that. They were only planted, as I say, about 10 days ago when I was last down here. But the start of my fruit hedge has begun. So the idea is all along here, all the way up to where the chair is up there, and possibly even beyond, is going to be a solid fruit hedge with one gap in the middle where the green chair you can see sticking out there is, as that's a path. So I'll have a gap there, and I should hopefully have a solid fruit hedge all the way up there. When it eventually grows, I'll be able to take all the stuff out of the middle there you can see sticking up. All the black currants, all the gooseberries, the red currants, they should all come down here as well. The gooseberries I'm going to plant around the pond to try and stop inquisitive children from falling into it, because the thorns on that are wicked. Anyway, moving onwards, I will start with this bed, which is the squashes and pumpkins bed. Now I've got lots and lots to show you in here. Buried under here is a rather large gourdy type thing. Now this is supposed to be Cinderella pumpkin, but it doesn't look like one to me, so I think I must have got my labels mixed up or something like that perhaps. Next is butternut squash. At the moment I have got a single butternut squash on there, which is doing okay, you know, not so bad. But I'm hopeful that these flowers here are going to turn into squashes, because they both look like the female. So hopefully, something started it off with flowering and then stopped it again. Maybe the weather, I don't know. Then we move on to the pumpkins, and that's all from one plant. So there's three huge pumpkins there, which are looking rather nice. These are, I think, the V Rouge de Tempe, the French pumpkin. Then underneath there, that is an Atlantic Giant, which is just starting off. There's only one on that side. At least I think that's an Atlantic Giant. Again, my labelling may have been off a little bit. On the other side of here we have another small orangey one coming through. I don't know if that's been pollinated properly, it may drop off. Then we have some green courgettes. Oh, good grief, that's more like a marrow now. So that one needs to come off fairly soon. And this one was another green courgette here, but there's nothing on it last time I checked. No, last time I checked there was nothing, and now I've got one going down there. So, dear, I've already got about 3 tons of courgettes. Never mind. Just turping around for planting so many. Now this is my fantastic pumpkin. This one is Atlantic Giant. As you can see, it's quite big. At the moment I'd say it's probably about 20 inches from, 24 inches probably from halfway around, so 48 inches all the way around. It's a decent sized pumpkin. Very pleased with that. It's the biggest I've ever grown. This other bed is also courgettes, pumpkins, etc. As you can see, we have yellow courgettes in there and there. I have a load of weeds that are falling out, so let's put those back. This one is a Cinderella pumpkin. Now the colour is what makes me think the other one's not Cinderella, because it's orange, green going orange. The other one was green in not right size. Over that side I've got some more green courgettes, which I'm not going to climb through to because it's rained recently. Yes, we've had rain, and don't want to get too wet. Now over here, the strawberry bed. Getting the second flush of strawberries on. I'm not sure if these are late strawberries or what, but I'm getting more strawberries. So I'm going to come and pick some of those later because I like strawberries. Rhubarb is doing absolutely fantastically well. The one in the middle with spindly stalks stood up. That's one I thought we'd lost this year. I thought it had gone, but it's confounded me and come back. So there's plenty left on there. A lot of these going over now, as you can see from the orange leaves. I may pick some more, although I may not, because I just haven't got a clue what to do with it half the time. I did make some rhubarb and vanilla jam the other day, which was very nice. over that side is my grandson's bed, where he's got strawberries at this end. All first flush strawberries, nothing else on there. Raspberries, there's still some raspberries coming on there, which is good. He's got sweet corn, and then he's got beans going up the pole. Now they're not growing as well as the other beans I've got, which I'll show you shortly. Now I've got a feeling that it's because that this bed hasn't had the nutrients in it that the other beds have. Because I've always had fantastic sweet corn, and that sweet corn is about 4 foot tall, whereas the stuff the other side is about 8 foot tall. So, you know, maybe it's because I've treated the beds differently. I don't know. Okay, so this is the fruit bushes. There's black currants, there's gooseberries, there's red currants in there. I've had about 4 kilos of gooseberries off there. I left some on for the animals, the birds. As you can see, there's still falling off because of that ripe. Some red gooseberries on there. I made gooseberry jelly last night, so using them up, everything I've got. Now this is one crop I'm going to pick today, the blackberries. Now look at them. I made blackberry and apple jam the other day. Very, very nice. Sweet as anything. And actually the gooseberry jam I made tasted more like blackberry or blackcurrant than gooseberry. I'm not sure how that happened, but look at all those ripe blackberries. I've probably got about another 4 pounds maybe of blackberries there. And then move on to the grapes. Now grapes are loving this water. As you can see, they're coming up really well. Now this is the first time I've ever had grapes, so I'm sure I've done stuff wrong. I'm sure that half of these should be taken off and shouldn't be there. So I took a bunch there and a bunch right next to it and so on. But I'm learning. It's the first time I've actually had grapes on. So I'm not ruining it by taking them off. If it comes to it, I'll crush them and I'll use the juice to make wine if they're not edible. But still. Okay, this bed I've got some spare brassicas underneath here, along with lots and lots of weeds. I need to get under there and weed these out. But these were ones that were left over in the greenhouse. I had nowhere else to put them, so I thought why not, brought them out. Carrots, now these are doing wonderfully well in the weather. I did have them planted in between rows of garlic and onions, but the garlic and onions obviously come up now. You can see by the size of the one over there, some of them are pretty big. I might harvest some of those today, actually, I do need carrots later on today. I'll have a quick skin over to the square foot gardening bed. Now I harvested some beetroot from here the other day and they were fantastic. This is rockets in the white flowers. I'm leaving the flowers on so that the bees have got somewhere to go. I don't need the rocket anymore. And then the other side, the yellow flowers, is Mizuna. Next to it is pumpkins or turnips, I'm not sure what I've got over there. And then over this side I've got more not black currants, beetroot. And then I've got lettuce, which is gone there in the middle, so that's going to get fed to the chickens later. And then some spring onions, which I will take home. And then the yellow flowers in the middle there was a pak choi. I just can't get down here often enough at the moment, so it's all going to seed. I have planted up some more stuff in here. All the spare tomato plants that were in the greenhouse have come out here. As you can see, there's quite a few of them. I've also planted some other seedlings, which are starting to come through. So there's quite a few of these that are actually starting to come out, so I'm quite pleased with that. I thought it was a little bit late in the season perhaps for them, but I'll give them a chance. Comfrey's been cut back about 4 times so far. Still keeps on growing. I don't want it in this bed where it is, and I keep trying to dig it out and put it somewhere else, but it keeps coming back, so I think it's going to stay there. Now these are the beans I was telling you about. As you can see, these beans are well to the top of 8 foot poles and going on further. And they've got huge amounts of beans on them. I'm going to have to pick some of these today as well. And look at those. Cracking, aren't they? Red currant and white currant bushes. I got 4 kilos of white currants off this one bush. How I did that, I have no idea, but it was dripping with them this year. Red currants I missed when I was in hospital, unfortunately. Potatoes, this rain has saved them completely. Because they're all in bags and buckets, it means that it's difficult to get enough water into them if it doesn't rain. It's rained, so I'm very happy with that. Okay, in this bed we've got purple sprouting broccoli at this end. We've got standard Calabrese broccoli in the middle. I don't know if you can see any in there at all. I've taken a couple out, some huge ones, which is fantastic. And then at this end, I have got some red Brussels sprouts, along with some fat hen, which I'll have to get in there and weed. The only thing I've lifted this cover up for recently has been to harvest. I've done no watering whatsoever while they've been under glass, so to speak, under cover. So they've survived without any watering through about 12 weeks of no rain, or virtually no rain. That's what's left of the broccoli stalk after I gave it to the chickens. Right, have a quick look in the greenhouse, see what's going on in here. Harvested all my onions, as you've seen before. I brought them in because the rain was threatening, so I brought them in here to dry off properly. They're pretty much done now. As soon as I get my car back, I'll be taking those home, but they're just too heavy to carry to the bus because I've got about a mile to walk to the bus, and I'm not supposed to exert myself too much, so, well, we'll see. Chillies, these are long chillies, as you can see, but this is the master. Look at that. That's 8 inches long. No idea what they taste like, how hot they are or anything like that. This one's supposed to be long red martini, but it's not exactly long red. It looks like more like a stunty thing. That one is also stunty. That's supposed to be long red Marconi pepper. These at the front here. Now these are a new one that I got sent free, which is a curry chilli. It's supposed to be quite hot. So I'm getting a few of those coming out now, which I'm pretty pleased with. Herbs are starting to flower because I've not got them in the ground. Again, they've suffered in here. They're in pots that are far too small for them. I've got some mints here which I got the other day, which are flowering because they want to be out. This hot weather is doing wonders for them because they love Mediterranean weather, but they need the ground to grow in. So again, I've got to get it done, sorted. Problem at the moment is it's raining again now as I'm here. Just a little bit in the wind, but not really conducive to getting out there and gardening. Tomatoes. Now, I have got 8 tomato plants in here, and as you can see, we're getting lots and lots of tomatoes coming on them. Some decent sized ones, decent sized trusses. The problem seems to be that I've got tomatoes down there, then nothing all the way up until I get here. So something's happened in between there, whether it was a lack of watering or whether it got too hot for them, I don't know. But something happened and we didn't get any tomatoes set in about nearly a metre of growth there. But as you can see now, we're getting tomatoes right at the very top, and I've had to put a string in. I had a string before, but it fell down and I came in and these were all flopping everywhere. But again, down at the bottom, if I can show you down here, we have tomatoes. I mean, that's a nice truss, that. And there's more coming at the end of it, which I might cut that off actually, and just leave it up to where the tomatoes are. But I've cleared all the foliage from the bottom up to the first trusses, and well, that's all I can do. Sweet corn, doing it fantastic, as you can see. Now I've seen somebody who's harvested sweet corn recently and it was ripe, so I'm going to try and take 1 or 2 of these down today, take a couple of cobs off, peel them back and just check them. And apparently the way you check it is by peeling back and exposing the little niblets on the corn, which I believe is the correct term, although I'm not so certain about that now I say it. And then you stick your thumb into it, your thumbnail in it. If it comes out a white milky liquid, they're ready. If you can't get your thumbnail in or it comes out clear, then they're not ready yet. And if it comes out really, really milky and thick, then you've gone too far with them. They're not going to be at the best, but you can still eat them. And then finally, this one. Now, I've harvested some cabbages in here and fed them to the chickens because something's been eating my cabbages. Now, I don't know if you can see that from the top. It's almost like it's being scalped, but like a pigeon's attacked it. The outer leaves are fine, so it's not caterpillars. There's no slugs. I've put slug pellets down and nothing's touched it. But I've got one here that was fine when I came down last time, and it's got a slice taken out of the middle of it. I don't know if you can see that. If anybody knows what could cause this, please let me know, because I'm dying to find out, because it's slowly working its way through my cabbages. The ones at this end look to be okay. Having said that, they did. That one's now looking like it started to be got at. So something's in here, because they were all looking like that before, which is lovely. Now there's a couple looking like this, and the chickens think they're going to get fed again. So if anybody knows what can do this, and what I can do to stop it, please let me know, because I'm at a loss with this, and I really don't know what to do. Anyway, that's all for today. I've gone longer than usual because I've had a lot to show you. But thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all subscribing. If you haven't subscribed already, if you do like what I'm showing you here, if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. Put a video up virtually every week, or try to anyway. So if you enjoy it and you want to see more, please subscribe. Send me your comments, send me photographs of what you're doing on your plots. That'd be really good to see. And that's enough of me prattling. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.